Here are 5 incredible stories of civilians who risked everything to save cops in their darkest moments. Number 1. The Good Samaritan's split-second decision. May 1st, 2025, started like any other day in Edmond, Oklahoma. Officer Caleb Holden was wrapping up a routine traffic warning in a parking lot near East 15th Street, just before 5 p.m. The paperwork was almost done, the driver was cooperative, and everything seemed normal. Then, out of nowhere, chaos erupted.
I promise next time you see me, it'll have it.
Light gray box at the bottom.
Light gray?
Yeah, just down there. Perfect. Not an admission of guilt, just stating that you show up on or before the court date, okay?
I don't have to, as long as it's paid.
22-year-old Ocean Hudson, who had nothing to do with the traffic stop, suddenly appeared and launched a vicious knife attack on Officer Holden. The assault was completely unprovoked and caught everyone off guard. Hudson wasn't involved in the traffic stop, wasn't being questioned, and had no apparent reason to attack the officer. But there he was, blade in hand, trying to seriously hurt or kill a cop who was just doing his job.
Stop! Stop!
As the two men struggled, Officer Holden fought desperately to control the knife-wielding attacker. Hudson was determined and dangerous, making it clear he wanted to cause serious harm. The situation looked grim. One officer against an armed and violent suspect who seemed to have nothing to lose. That's when an unnamed Good Samaritan driving by made a decision that would save a life. Without thinking about his own safety, this civilian rushed from his vehicle straight into the fight. While Officer Holden battled to stay alive, the brave bystander wrestled the knife away from Hudson's hands.
Shoot me, man. I got nothing to live for. 22?
Yes, you do, buddy. You have everything to live for.
No.
Yes.
I'm supposed to be in prison today. But I ain't doing that.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
The struggle continued as both the officer and the civilian worked together to subdue the violent attacker. Hudson kept fighting, even telling them to shoot him because he had nothing to live for. But the combined efforts of the officer and the Good Samaritan eventually won out.
Good stab. Good stab.
You okay?
Here we go. Hold his arm. Hold his arm. Yep. Don't you move. You understand me? I got him. I got him. Get up. Get up. You need help. You need help, sir.
I got nothing left.
Hurry up.
Officer Holden suffered serious stab wounds and needed emergency surgery, but he survived thanks to that split-second decision by a stranger to get involved. Hudson was arrested and now faces multiple felony charges. The officer has since been released from the hospital and is recovering, alive today, because someone chose to help instead of just driving by. Case number 2, traffic stop turns into community rescue.
The investigation revealed that the man grabbed at the officer's holstered weapon, resulting in the officer-involved shooting. The officer's body-worn camera was knocked off during the fight and does not capture the officer-involved shooting.
A routine traffic stop in Phoenix, Arizona on May 25, 2025, near 25th Street and Cactus Road, quickly spiraled out of control when what started as a simple speeding violation became a violent confrontation. The driver had already gotten out of his vehicle and was becoming increasingly hostile and uncooperative with the officer's requests.
What is your problem?
What is your problem? You're following me.
You're the one that's going out yelling at me, doing whatever.
I wasn't yelling at you. I wasn't yelling at you.
There's a speed limit down Cactus.
I
Do you know what the
wasn't
speed
going
limit
past
is?
it when I was trying to
Do you
get
know what the
behind
speed
you.
limit is?
The situation escalated rapidly when the driver refused to provide his license and became verbally aggressive. The officer tried to maintain control of the situation, but the driver's behavior kept getting worse. He was yelling, using profanity, and making it clear he had no intention of cooperating with the traffic stop. Things went from bad to worse when the driver suddenly struck the officer in the head, catching him completely off guard. What had started as a routine traffic violation was now a physical assault on a police officer. The driver was bigger and stronger than the officer, and the attack put the cop in serious danger.
Go get your goddamn superior.
He's on his way.
Fuck your mother, bitch. Get out of my face.
Have your driver's license.
Fuck your mother, bitch. Get out of my
Insurance,
face.
registration, and your driver's
Fuck
license,
you.
please.
Shut up. There it is. There's my fucking... No,
That's it.
fuck you. I ain't
I don't
handing
know
you
who
shit.
The officer called for backup, but help seemed far away as he struggled with the violent suspect. The driver was determined to fight and wasn't backing down. He kept swinging at the officer, trying to overpower him and potentially escape the scene.
Dude, please,
Again?
please stop.
Again?
Please stop walking up on me.
I'm in my goddamn
Back
car.
up. Back up.
Nice. All right, come on, bitch.
Step it up. We're fighting.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Come on with it. 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 Come on.
That's when a bystander who had been watching the situation unfold decided he couldn't just stand by and watch. This unnamed civilian saw that the officer was in real trouble and might get seriously hurt or worse if someone didn't step in to help. Without hesitation, the Good Samaritan rushed into the fight, helping to pull the suspect off the officer. The civilian didn't have any special training or equipment, but he had something more important: the courage to do what was right when someone needed help.
Fucking little bastard. Can you help? Sir, back up. Shit. Oh.
Together, the officer and the civilian worked to subdue the violent suspect. It wasn't easy because the driver was still fighting hard, but having that extra help made all the difference. The bystander's intervention gave the officer the chance to regain control of the situation. The officer sustained multiple injuries during the attack, but was treated and released from the hospital the same day. The suspect was also hospitalized overnight before being taken into custody at Maricopa County Jail. Thanks to the brave civilian who stepped in, what could have been a tragedy became just another example of how ordinary people can make extraordinary differences when they choose to act. Number 3. Retired deputy's perfect timing.
While Tuttle waits for backup, a man pulls over and runs up to help. He identifies himself as a retired Pierce County Sheriff's deputy.
He's still moving. I was hit by something. I don't know what.
Tuttle gave the retired deputy his second weapon, and they wait together for backup.
April 10th, 2023. Started as a peaceful drive to Canada for a retired Pierce County deputy from Washington State. He had left his gun at home since he was crossing the border and was just enjoying the scenic Oregon highway. At 8:42 a.m., he was traveling northbound on Interstate 5 when he noticed something that would completely change his day.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Challenging 1254 north. He's got a gun.
Standing in the roadway was 31-year-old Felipe Amezcua Manzo, and he had a gun in his hand. Trooper Tuttle watched in horror as Manzo pointed the firearm at the semi-truck driver, then turned and aimed it at the driver of a nearby SUV while trying to force open the passenger door. This wasn't a stranded motorist. This was an armed carjacker in the middle of a busy interstate. When Manzo noticed the police car approaching, he took off running toward the east, heading for the CarMax dealership next to the highway. Trooper Tuttle immediately activated his lights and sirens, pulled over, and jumped out with his weapon drawn. He could see Manzo running down into the grass shoulder and then into a ditch.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Challenging 1254 north. He's got a gun. Get on the ground now!
Trooper Tuttle shouted commands for Manzo to get on the ground, but the armed suspect completely ignored him and kept moving south. The trooper had no choice but to follow him down into the ditch, where the situation quickly turned deadly. Manzo suddenly turned toward Trooper Tuttle, aimed his gun directly at the officer, and started firing. Trooper Tuttle immediately returned fire, but during the exchange, he felt something hit his left arm. In his attempt to find cover from the gunfire, the trooper started back up the incline but ended up falling into the water at the bottom of the ditch.
Get on the ground now! Hey! I'm hit! Roll it in!
Soaking wet and injured, Trooper Tuttle managed to get back to his patrol car and reload his weapon. But Manzo wasn't finished. He was still aiming and firing at the officer. That's when Trooper Tuttle saw something terrifying. A blue laser light from Manzo's gun pointed right at his eyes, temporarily blinding him. The laser sight told him that the gun was aimed directly at his head. Trooper Tuttle began firing again at Manzo, who was still holding his weapon and aiming at the officer. After reloading a second time, the trooper noticed Manzo actually starting to walk toward him, still armed and dangerous. Trooper Tuttle continued firing, reloading a third time, until Manzo finally fell to the grass.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Shots fired! Shots fired! Subject's down! 1299!
That's when something incredible happened. While Trooper Tuttle was calling dispatch to report the shooting and waiting for backup, he saw a man running down the interstate toward him. Most people would run away from a shooting scene, but this man was running toward the danger. The man identified himself with a badge as a retired Pierce County Sheriff's deputy from Washington. Even though he was off duty, unarmed, and in a different state, his law enforcement instincts kicked in. He had been on his way to Canada for vacation when he witnessed the entire gunfight unfold.
He's still moving. I was hit by something. I don't know what.
You got a rifle in the gun in the car?
Yeah.
You want me to get it, or you want me to hold him?
Trooper Tuttle immediately handed the retired deputy his backup weapon, and together they held Manzo at gunpoint until additional officers arrived just minutes later. The retired deputy's presence was invaluable during those critical moments when Trooper Tuttle was alone and injured after a deadly encounter.
9723, be advised. Traffic's all backed up to Mission.
Okay, I'm on. Traffic backed up.
When backup officers finally arrived and approached Manzo to render aid, they found gunshot wounds to his chest, back, and head. Despite medical efforts, Manzo was pronounced dead at the scene. Near his body, officers found a firearm with an attached laser sight and light, which was blue in color, exactly what had blinded Trooper Tuttle during the fight. Number 4. Armed citizens become police backup.
Where's his tourniquet?
He doesn't have one.
He doesn't have one.
The belt's over there.
Get a belt! Get a belt!
The belt's right here on the ground. Right here on the ground.
Right here.
January 8, 2023, in Reno, Nevada, started with reports of gunshots at an apartment complex, but it quickly became something much more dangerous. When police officers arrived at the scene, they found themselves walking into what felt like a war zone. 2 armed suspects were still on the loose, and they weren't planning to go quietly.
Sorry, 2 males. They're running away with several firearms.
The first officer on the scene immediately came under heavy fire from the suspects, who had positioned themselves strategically around the apartment buildings. 1 bullet hit him in the abdomen, and 2 more struck his legs, leaving him wounded and pinned down with no cover. He tried to return fire, but he was badly hurt and in a terrible position.
Real, please stop! Stop! Reno, can I tell you about shot? 1078.
When a second officer arrived to help, the situation only got worse. Both cops were now under attack from multiple shooters, and they were severely outgunned. The wounded officer desperately needed a tourniquet for his leg wounds, but his partner didn't have one and was too busy trying to stay alive to provide proper medical aid.
Sarge, you okay? Coming to you. Don't fucking move. I can't. Just hold him. Hold him. I'm gonna need a tourniquet on my leg if you got one. Okay, watch behind me. I don't have one. I don't have one. Watch behind me.
That's when something amazing happened that probably saved both officers' lives. Local residents who had been watching the gunfight from their apartments decided they couldn't just stand by and watch police officers get killed. These weren't trained law enforcement officers. They were ordinary people who saw fellow human beings in desperate trouble. The residents came out of their homes carrying whatever medical supplies they could find. Someone brought a belt that could be used as a makeshift tourniquet for the officer's bleeding leg. Others positioned themselves to watch for additional threats, becoming extra eyes and ears for the overwhelmed officers.
Thank you. Hey, come here, come here. Come here, come here. I need to wrap it around my partner's leg. Where? Show me where. Where, buddy? What do we need? Okay, left leg. Right there. Okay, above the knee, please. Thanks, sir. Hey, ma'am, can you watch this way for me, please? The bad one is upstairs to the right. I don't know.
But these good Samaritans went even further than anyone could have expected. Several of the residents were legally armed, and they took positions around the wounded officers to provide armed backup. They essentially became temporary police reinforcements, ready to fight alongside the officers if the suspects attacked again.
Right there. Right here on the ground. Right here. Yeah, I got him. Okay. Watch him. Hey, can you watch with her that way? Top left.
The wounded officer was able to radio for help, telling dispatch that he had 3 armed citizens providing cover for him. This was an unprecedented situation. Civilians with guns working directly with police to secure a dangerous scene. The residents watched different directions, making sure no other shooters could sneak up on the officers. The armed citizens held their positions until official backup finally arrived. Their presence allowed the wounded officer to receive proper medical treatment while staying protected from further attacks. Both suspects were eventually captured, with one dying at the scene and the other facing multiple serious charges.
2 down here, someone needs to. I got you. Sir, going tight, please. Okay, he hasn't been moving, he just stopped moving.
Do not fucking move.
Keep your hands where we can see him. Take that guy long.
Yeah, I got hands.
Roll to your stomach.
The injured officer was taken to a rehabilitation center for his wounds, but his injuries could have been much worse without the immediate help from the brave residents. These civilians didn't just call 911 and wait. They grabbed medical supplies and weapons and put themselves in harm's way to save the lives of officers they had never met before. Number 5. Highway Heroes. Save Bleeding Officer.
Tonight with the very latest on that officer who was shot on the 8 freeway in Mission Valley last night. The suspect has now been identified as Yahoo Du. This is a 25-year-old San Diego man. Police say that the officer was investigating a traffic crash when Du began attacking him and then reached for the officer's gun. The officer was shot once in the leg and remains in stable condition at this hour. KUSI's Hunter Soward sat down exclusively with one of those bystanders who helped save that officer and keep the suspect there at the scene.
The 8 freeway in Mission Valley, San Diego, became the scene of incredible heroism when a routine traffic crash investigation turned into a life or death situation. A California Highway Patrol officer was shot in the leg by 25-year-old Yahya Abdul Qadir Aden during what should have been a standard call. As the officer lay bleeding on the busy highway, his training kicked in despite his injury. Even while wounded, he stayed calm and directed the civilians who rushed to help him. The first hero on the scene was Travis Almond, who didn't hesitate when he saw the officer down and bleeding. The wounded officer managed to call out one crucial word that guided the rescue effort. Almond immediately understood what was needed and grabbed his sweatshirt from his car, quickly fashioning it into a makeshift tourniquet around the officer's wounded leg. This quick thinking likely prevented the officer from bleeding out on the highway. But Almond wasn't alone in his heroic efforts. A nurse who happened to be riding her motorcycle nearby stopped to help, checking if anyone had proper medical equipment. Multiple bystanders worked together like a well-coordinated team, with some helping to restrain the suspect while others focused on keeping the officer calm and conscious.
I'm good.
The scene was chaotic, with ongoing danger from the suspect and busy highway traffic. But these civilians didn't run away. Instead, they formed a protective circle around the wounded officer. One person even grabbed the officer's radio when 911 lines were busy. helping him call in the crucial "officer down" message. Perhaps most touching was how the officer, even while seriously injured, called his wife to reassure her. The bystanders praised the officer's composure, saying his calm leadership guided their life-saving efforts. CHP officials later commended the group's quick action, stating that their teamwork definitely saved the officer's life. The officer remains in stable condition, alive because strangers became heroes when it mattered most.